Chapter 1. What is happiness? Happiness is a lasting feeling of joy and gratitude. It colors our view and makes us see everything in a new light. Happiness is almost palpable, and you can certainly spot a happy person in a crowd. He stands out because of his jolly nature, optimistic mind, and friendly attitude. Happiness should not be confused with pleasure. However, happiness is long term and innocent in nature. Unlike happiness, pleasure is short lived and often addictive. For example, those who like to drink because of the pleasurable way in which alcohol affects their body will crave this feeling more and more. Similarly, those who seek pleasures in materialistic acquisitions soon tire of them. By itself, pleasure is not wrong, but seeking pleasure as a substitute for happiness only leads to sorrow. What does inner peace really mean? Are tranquility, harmony, and quietness inner peace? Can we buy inner peace? Can we learn it? Does it really exist? Almost everyone muses over these questions at some point in life. Most of us realize the need for inner peace as we progress through the different stages of life. It seems everyone, either consciously or subconsciously, directly or indirectly, is seeking this elusive goal. What is it? In simple terms, inner peace is the peace within oneself. When we stop searching for peace externally and discover it within ourselves, we have found inner peace. This peace is not influenced by external factors, the weather, other people's behavior, wealth, or the lack of it. Nothing can rob our inner peace once it has been attained. Ultimately, inner peace is a function of one's own consciousness and is completely independent of all external input. Because of the nature of the universe, real inner peace can never be permanently found in the external world. Nature is a cycle of rotating pairs of opposites. Night follows day, cold follows hot, pain follows pleasure, good times follow bad phases. Similarly, happiness follows unhappiness. The only way to really find inner peace is to still the outgoing mind and quieten the bubbling senses. Regardless of what external stimuli one can obtain, eventually one must deal with one's own restless mind. But how does one do it? It seems one has to travel a hard and long road to pursue the utopian goal of happiness. Wait, don't give up even before you have begun. Here is a bright ray of hope. Tranquility and happiness can be achieved with effort and practice. However, it requires consistent endeavor and willpower to attain sincerity of mind and soul. However, it requires consistent endeavor and willpower to attain serenity of mind and soul. Chapter 2. One simple truth. Anyone can be happy. Happiness is a wealth that knows no limits. It brings with it perfect health, joy of living, and a deep sense of contentment. Do you feel it is prerogative of certain kinds of people to be happy? I have come across many people who feel that a certain acquaintance is happier than they are. Why should he be unhappy? He has all the money and things that can make him happy. He has a good job, social recognition, a place in society, and every material thing to bring comfort. Nothing is lacking. Is it money and material things that brings happiness to an individual? Does it mean that a poor man has to be unhappy and only a rich man is happy? Nothing can be farther from the truth. I have met many people who do not have much money and don't know where their next meal will come from, yet they are happy. I have also met people who do not know what to do with their money because there is so much of it and they are not happy. Happiness doesn't come with money. You can't buy it. In fact, the richer the person, the more his worries and the unhappier he is. I am reminded of a story that I heard as a child. Once upon a time, there lived a poor farmer who was very happy. He had no fancy garments, no possessions, just a small hut which leaked during the monsoon, a pair of coarse clothes, and simple food. But he slept peacefully all night and sang throughout the day as he toiled in his field. Living nearby was a rich jamindar landowner with a palatial house, all material comforts to ensure a luxurious lifestyle, many servants, and everything that a person could desire. Yet the rich man could not sleep at night and remained tense throughout the day. He envied the poor farmer and wanted to discover the secret of his happiness. He went to a sage and asked him the reason for the poor farmer's happiness. The sage replied, "It is because he has no money." But that is impossible. How can a man be happy because he has no money? How can he sleep so blissfully at night because he has no money? Asked a rich man incredulously. "Well, since you don't believe me, we will conduct a little test. Go and give him rupees 99 and then see the result," advised the sage. The landowner went and gave the farmer rupees 99 as instructed by the sage. A few days later, the poor farmer came running back to him and cried, "Sir, please take this money back. I don't want it." The rich man was surprised. "My dear man, why don't you want it? I have given it to you with all good faith. You must keep it and better your lot," he said. "Sir, I don't want this money," the farmer insisted, "because I can't sleep peacefully anymore. As long as I had no money, I could sleep in peace because I didn't have to worry about thieves stealing it. Now I have to fix a door and lock it at night because I am worried that someone will steal the money. I also want to increase the money and have to constantly worry about how I can add another rupee and make it rupees 100. This tension is driving me mind. I can't concentrate on my work, nor sing or nor sleep. I don't want this money. I was happier when I didn't have it," rued the farmer. The rich man now understood the meaning of the sage's advice. He realized that his richness was the cause of all his grief. This is a simple story, but one that holds immense truth. Money can't buy happiness. If it is not money that ensures happiness, what can do so? Have you noticed how discontentment is spreading all around us? How many people do you meet every day who are content with their lot? Here's an exercise. Tomorrow, ask everyone you meet if they are content, and also ask them if they can name one thing they desire the most. You will be surprised by their responses. At least 8 of 10 will say they are not content and begin whining about what they lack in their lives. When asked for one thing they desire, they will think very hard because there are so many things they desire. Doesn't this illustrate how frustrated we are with our lives and how undecided we are about what we want in life? An exercise. Here is another exercise you could subject yourself to. List out your desires in order or priorities. You will be surprised at how difficult a task it is. Most of us do not know what we want most and are unsure about the priorities of our needs. When I first tried this exercise, I was surprised by how quickly my mind kept changing priorities. I just couldn't decide which of my needs came first. Baffled, I pondered, what do I really want? What are my priorities? Is there any end to my wants? I realized that the string of desires is a never ending one. Almost every preacher, sage, or spiritual guru talks about giving up desires. Right from Gautam Buddha to Jesus Christ to Guru Nanak, every saint has talked about the folly of pursuing desires, yet we are unable to control our desires, which brings us unhappiness. If it were not money that brings happiness, it would simply mean that every human being, rich or poor, has the ability to find happiness. Does age matter? I really don't think so. It has never been proved that a younger person is happier than an older one, but a child is definitely happier than an adult. Why is this so? A child is carefree and innocent. He is not bothered if his dress is more expensive than that of his friend or not. The younger the child, the happier he is. But as the child keeps growing older, he learns the wrong things from others and unhappiness slowly seeps into his life. Yet, if he learns to be carefree and innocent like he was in childhood, happiness could still be his. Are men happier than women? Again, there is no proof that gender counts where happiness is concerned. There are an equal number of unhappy men and women. It simply does not matter whether you are a man or a woman where the pursuit of happiness is concerned. Of course, women are more prone to depression and depressive thoughts than men. This has much to do with their hormonal build-up and moods, but in general, happiness is not gender specific. If money, material things, age, and sex don't matter, it simply means every human has the potential to be happy. Happiness is a natural outcome of living. Unhappiness is something we have created for ourselves through greed, excess ambition, love for material things, jealousy, competition, and many other unhealthy characteristics. Most of these things increase our stress levels, leading to an unhealthy body and mind, further compounding unhappiness. Everyone can be happy. Happiness makes no distinction between gender, class, religion, or age.